Christiane Louise de Paula da Silva was born on September 12, 1971, in the city of Rio de Janeiro, capital of the state of the same name in Brazil. As a child, she started an acting course, having acted in theaters from a very early age, in addition to some appearances on TV. After graduating high school, she decided to take a break from acting and took the entrance exam for the physical education course at a university in Florianópolis in the state of Santa Catarina and moved there. After a few semesters studying, due to several student strikes that were happening at the time, Christiane decided to suspend her course and return to Rio de Janeiro, where her family still lived. After returning to Rio, she decided to take a dubbing course, influenced by an old theater friend who was already working in the voice acting area. Initially, she didn't find many job opportunities, since the offer of content was low at the time, and there weren't many free jobs in the dubbing area like nowadays. But over time, things got better and Christiane found more and more jobs and established herself as a great dubbing artist in Brazil. As she established herself in the dubbing market, she started to like it more and more, and to dedicate herself exclusively to it, thus starting her exclusive career as a voice artist. Christiane officially began acting as a voice actress in the year 1994. Along her career, the actress and voice actress became known for voicing iconic characters such as Mr. Morello in the series Everybody Hates Chris, Daisy Duck, the Disney character, and Mary Winchester from the Supernatural TV series, and several others. For the fans of online games, she was known for voicing characters like Sivir from the game League of Legends and Mercy from Overwatch. In 2017, during a visit to a psychiatric clinic for treatment, Christiane met Pedro Paulo Gonçalves Vasconcelos da Costa. From then on, the two became close and started a friendship. Sometime later, Christiane rented one of her apartments in Rio de Janeiro to Pedro Paulo. The man lived in the property with his mother, Eliane Gonçalves Vasconcelos da Costa. But after a few months, he stopped paying the rent and started bullying Christiane. Pedro Paulo has a degree in economics, but it is not known whether he was employed at the time or not, and whether he stopped paying the rent due to financial problems or lack of character. It is said that Christiane tried to negotiate with Pedro, since they had a friendship and she wanted to continue maintaining this good relationship, but apparently it was in vain, since the actress had to go to court in order to remove Pedro and his mother from the property, due to the various rents that they didn't pay. Pedro and his mother were evicted from the property, and this obviously undermined his friendship with Christiane. After that, the two didn't speak to each other, but in early 2021, they got back in touch. Pedro Paulo had been having psychological crisis and was welcomed by Christiane in her own apartment, which was located in Ipanema, a trendy neighborhood in Rio de Janeiro. According to colleagues and friends, Christiane was a sweet, kind, sensitive person who was passionate about animals. Still, according to them, she was always very helpful and helped others in times of need. She also had panic crisis and didn't like being alone. So in addition to helping her friend who was in trouble, they could keep each other company. Their friendship seemed to grow more and more as time went by. They were almost always together in Rio's bars and at others' friends and acquaintances get-togethers. Even the last photos posted by Christiane on her Instagram show her next to Pedro Paulo, hugging and smiling. And in one of these photos, Pedro commented, "My sister, I love you." And Christiane replied, "I love you very much too." Despite their friendship seeming sincere and true, it would end tragically. On July 20, 2021, friends close to Christiane went to the police station to report her disappearance. According to them, it had been a few days since the last time they had seen the voice actress, and she was not showing up for work, something that wasn't like her. Before going to the police, when they missed Christiane, the friends looked for Pedro, who said that she was fine and had traveled with a boyfriend. He also claimed that she would be back in a few days and that she had turned off her cell phone. Christiane's friends found the story very strange, and that's why they decided to go to the police. Investigators then went after Pedro Paulo to clarify this story. Pedro told the police that he had met with Christiane on the 17th of July and that she had said that she needed to disconnect for a while, that she would go to the house of her boyfriend's friends and asked him to take care of their 2 dogs. The police were suspicious of this version given by him, but since they had no evidence that could link him to a possible crime, he was released. On July 22, 2021, Christiane Louise's body was found in an area of vegetation at Praia Grumari in the west zone of Rio de Janeiro. She was wrapped in plastic bags and sheets. The forensic report pointed out that the voice actress was killed 2 or 3 days before, and that the cause of death was due to a deep cut in her throat. In addition to the throat wound, there was also another cut on one of her legs. The news of the crime reverberated throughout Rio de Janeiro and later throughout Brazil. Christiane Louise was a great dubbing artist who gave voice to several characters that marked the childhood and youth of many Brazilians. Several of her professional colleagues paid tribute to her on their social media. Friends and family were devastated by the news. Christiane had no problems with anyone, let alone enemies. So who could be responsible for that crime? While everyone mourned her death, Pedro Paulo, who called her sister and even said he loved her, didn't seem too shaken by the tragedy. He even posted a photo on the beach, smiling next to his mother, a few days after Christiane's body was found. As he was already considered a potential suspect by the police, investigators requested a search and seizure warrant for his mother's house, which was the place where he was living after leaving the victim's apartment. During searches of the property, the police found several of Christiane's items, such as computers and cell phones, that together added up more than $2,000. Asked why he was in possession of those objects, he couldn't explain and was taken to the police station. Pedro Paulo was alone in the house and his mother's whereabouts were unknown. At the police station, knowing he had nowhere else to run, he confessed everything. According to him, he acted in self-defense, claiming that Christiane was violent and that she seemed possessed. He also said that she was under the influence of narcotics, prescription drugs, and alcoholic beverages when she attacked him in her apartment that they shared in Ipanema. Obviously, the police realized that this version didn't match the facts, even more so because he had no injuries on his body, and how could that be possible since himself said that he was attacked by the victim? After Pedro Paulo's testimonies, the police asked for his preventive detention so that they could better investigate the case. During investigations, it was discovered that the victim was killed on the 20th of July, and that the object used to kill her was a broken chalice. It was also discovered that Pedro probably had help from his mother and a third person to dispose of the body, and that they deleted several conversations from their cell phones and the victims that could compromise them. But before all that, they spent almost 2 days with the body hidden in the house of the accused's mother, who was considered a fugitive since the police couldn't locate her anywhere. Christiane's neighbors said that they didn't hear anything strange on the day of the incident, and that's why they didn't suspect anything. Certainly, Pedro Paulo attacked the voice actress by surprise, making it impossible for her to scream, let alone defend herself. It is also not very clear how he managed to leave the victim's apartment with her body without anyone seeing. Some sources say that Pedro had gained the trust of residents and employees of the building, as he was charismatic and very communicative. He had copies of the keys of the property and left and returned to the apartment whenever he wanted. According to some employees of the building, Pedro would have given them a bunch of plastic bags containing some of Christiane's belongings and asked them to throw them away. This would have occurred the day after he committed the crime. For the police, the motivation of the crime would be patrimonial. The investigators worked with the theory that Pedro Paulo and his mother intended to get hold of Christiane's assets, and that's why they killed her. According to them, mother and son took advantage of the victim's mental fragility to take money whenever they could. On the night of August 18, 2021, Eliane Gonçalves Vasconcelos da Costa turned herself in at the Capital Homicide Police Station in Barra da Tijuca. During her testimony, she didn't want to say anything to the officers. Eliane was then preventively arrested for 30 days so that the police could determine whether or not she had participated in the crime. Pedro's brother and Eliane's son also showed up at the police station along with the family's lawyers. In his statement, he denied any involvement in the crime and said that he only knows the third person who helped Pedro and Eliane get rid of the body. The third person is Arthur Barroso Marciano, a 25-year-old app driver. In testimony, he told investigators that he was called by Eliane to transport a dead goat that has been used in a religious ritual, and that he never thought that it was in fact a human body. He also said that he was known to Eliane's other son, the same one who gave testimony to the police, and that he was always called by the family two races since they knew him. The vehicle used to transport the body, a Toyota Corolla, was examined by the police, but as far as is known, nothing incriminating was found. Despite Arthur pleading not guilty and claiming he didn't know what he was actually transporting, he was indicted by the police anyway. The accused were pre-trial detained until the investigations and inquiry were completed. Pedro Paulo Gonçalves Vasconcelos da Costa and his mother, Eliane Gonçalves Vasconcelos da Costa, were indicted by the Rio de Janeiro Public Prosecutor's Office for feminicide qualified by the vile motivation and the cruel means of execution. They will also answer for concealing the corpse. The two will now remain in prison awaiting trial. The driver, Arthur Barroso Marciano, was indicted for concealing a corpse, but I couldn't find information on whether he's under arrest or whether he's free. The defense of the accused said that the public ministry's complaint is a legal adventure and claimed that Eliane did not instigate, didn't participate in, nor did she help in the death of the voice actress. Also, through a press release, they said that the task of the defense is clarification and the search of the truth. The loss of Christiane Louise was painful, not only for those who knew her personally, but also for those who appreciated her work. As I already said, the voice actress gave voice to countless characters that marked the childhood and youth of many Brazilians. Some fans even posted tributes to her on social media, where they mourned her loss. Friends and co-workers also paid their respects to the voice actress on social media. Bia Menezes, who is also in the business, said that Christiane was a kind person, that she will always be in their hearts, and that she will always be remembered by everyone. The voice actor Mario Tupinambá posted a photo on his social media with the caption, "It is with a bleeding soul that I announce the departure of Christiane Louise. I love you forever, Zinha." Christiane Louise's death came just over a month before her 50th birthday. She joined several other Brazilian dubbing names that left during the year 2021. This was the story of the death of Christiane Louise, a voice actress who had her career interrupted by the hands of those she helped when they needed, and the ones she considered friends. Well guys, that's it for today. Thank you for watching until the end, best wishes, and I see you next time.